Hey ladies and gentlemen, Ashley here. I am so excited for this sweet as honey paper. It is simply adorable. I love the hexagons, the beads, and just that Sundance color with those blacks. It is just to die for. So this series of videos shows you all these different embossing techniques using distressed oxide, making cards and one 2-page layout. So there are 6 cards total. Make sure to like, subscribe, and craft on with me, ladies and gentlemen. So for today's card, we have another embossing card, but this time we're going to bring in 2 colors of distressed oxide. We're going to use this green color, which is peeled paint, and this orangish yellow, which is that spiced marmalade. So I'm going to start with my card base, and then I'm going to go ahead and use my embossing ink, my VersaMark, and I'm going to apply that to my stamp. I'm going to stamp on top of my VersaMatte, which is flipped over. It is just underneath that all-purpose mat, so you can see it there. And that is so I have some foam squishy to make sure my entire image transfers over properly. I'm grabbing my Princess Gold embossing powder, and I am doing this on top of just a piece of computer paper. That way it is easy to fold and file back into my container and save it for later. Okay, so now I'm going to hit that up with some, with my heat embossing tool. So you can see I did that off camera. You get this wonderful sheen. It's such a gorgeous look to it. Now I love this all-purpose mat because it allows that card to kind of stick. So I'm going to use the peeled paint on the lower half of this card. Now it doesn't matter if I go off onto the left a little bit because that's going to be covered with some paper in a moment. Then I'm going to blend in with that spiced marmalade. Now even though this is an orange and a green, they blend wonderfully together. That is something I really like about the distressed oxide line. So I'm going a little bit lighter pressure as I go higher up. That way I have that nice transition over between the two. And then I do want to stamp my sentiment. Okay. Oh, I'm talking about how I like my all-purpose mat because it does stick. I did want to remove any of that excess ink because when I set my card back down, I don't want any of that ink to end up on the inside of my card. So I pull out my intense black ink to stamp up my outside of my sentiment. And then my actual sentiment, which is going to go in this card. That one is going to say, "Thinking of you, sweet friend." And so both of those are done in that intense black ink. Okay. So next up, I'm going to go ahead and glue down my paper on the left side, and then I'm going to use some liquid glue to add my little 1/8" strip there. Okay. I'm going to use some 3D foam tape to pop up that cute little sentiment. And then all that's left to finish this card off is adding those hexagon cork shapes. Such a fun little addition to the sweet as honey paper. I like the shape. I like the cork. It goes great with this Sundance black and mink color scheme on here. Another thing with embossing, you can also rub any excess ink off of your stamp by just running a piece of tissue or paper towel over it. So thanks for crafting with me, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you spend $35 or more in materials, I will send you this cutting guide so you can follow along. And as always, craft on, ladies and gentlemen.